If you can't handle the heat, then get out of the kitchen. The IBT podcast is back with our 7 hottest takes for the 2025 fantasy football season. Buckle up, subscribe if you're new, and let's jump in.
I've been going dummy, out of bounds, putting on a clinic. Stick around, carrots in my hardware. KC, caught him in the crosshair. Look at me, been the guy calling Mr. MVP. Keep your ass on the bench by my MPC. Earn my stripes like I fixed this league. Your dog's on the turf, my dog's in the street. You can find me somewhere in between. Never a dull moment like a movie scene. About to do the ops like I did this beat. Let them keep talking RG3. Coming to you live. This is the In Between Fantasy Football Podcast.
All right. And welcome into the In Between Fantasy Football Podcast, your place for both a refreshing and feel-good take on fantasy football and NFL gambling. Tonight, we're turning up the temperature right as the summertime arrives with our hot takes and bold predictions for 2025. I'm your host, Seth Woolcock, and chances are, by the time you're listening to this, I'm with my feet planted in the sand in Punta Cana for my brother's wedding. And tonight I'm joined by a man who was once known around these streets as Summertime Eric, because that's just how much this kid loves summer. With it being out, kids are out of school, he's having fun, he's vibing, he's a big business, light ranch and son of a gun. He's Eric Romoff. Eric, how are you as we approach the end of the school year, my friend?
Oh man, the countdown clock to the end of the school year is always tricky because I live for summertime vibes. It is where I get my life energy and my mana to power through the entirety of the year. But that's when my state subsidized childcare, aka public school, goes away.
Yeah.
And I now have to become a master of logistics. But I think it's a worthwhile trade-off. We try to get out there and have some fun. And I'm also vibing high because I'm here rocking the Rainbow Bowl gear.
Woo!
Anytime I'm rocking some Rainbow Bowl gear, I'm feeling good. And Steve has all that information pinned in his bio on Twitter. And I think there's a new Rainbow Bowl handle, right? It's at the Rainbow Bowl on Twitter if you want to get a little bit more detail on how to get involved and to pick up some new fresh merch.
Yes, that's right. Back in the saddle this evening is our entertainment and NFL pundit here at IBT, the founder of Rainbow Bowl, a guy who also believes that Chili's should be out of business currently. He is the man of the hour, Boston's boy, Steve Lawson. Steven, how are you tonight, my friend?
I'm great. Thank you guys for the shout out for Rainbow Bowl. Very excited. I decided I wasn't tweeting nearly enough. Just in general. So I made another account just to be able to post Rainbow Bowl stuff for everybody. Just to shamelessly plug it. It is a charity fantasy football league raising awareness and money for LGBTQ youth. So be an ally, be a member of the community, come on out and play. Seth, I'm always excited to be the guy on your left. Anytime I get to sit here and do it. I'm so excited to see you guys again this week because look at it. We're all in different clothing. It's almost like, you know, it's just wonderful to be all together on this brand new week.
I agree. Completely agreed with you. Behind the scenes is a man who moves the needle for this particular program. He's a Yinzer. He's a Ginzer. And he's a former IUP Crimson Hawk. He's Mr. Kyle Scott. Kyle, how are you tonight, Jim? I just combined Yinzer and Ginger into one word. Maybe that, defines you more than anything else I've ever heard.
Yeah, I'm glad you included the N in that little portmanteau. I'm doing fantastic. Our little conversation beforehand has me thinking about Chili's, and man, I could just crush a triple dipper right now.
Kyle, answer this question. Chili's or Applebee's appetizers? We're talking apps only. Where are you going?
Oh, man, apps only. I think I'm going Chili's.
Of course.
What are the apps? Give me your 3 apps. What's in the apps here?
I mean, have you seen the cheese pull on those mozzarella sticks? The Southwest egg rolls? Dude, those
now we're talking.
All their chicken stuff. All the appetizers at Chili's are great.
A lot of passion for Chili's on this episode.
I mean, look, it's a good value, right?
Yeah, Chili's, dude.
Chili's got it hot. Let's go.
Eric, what's your triple three? Give me your triple platter. What is it?
Oh man, I'm a bit of a basic bro, so I might just triple up on the Southwest egg rolls. Those things are
What?
legitimately money.
What?
And
You're just pounding
for
3 egg roll orders to the dome?
for
Straight to the
not
brain.
being a Mexican restaurant, their queso is actually not too bad. Their chips and queso is like well above replacement
Okay.
level, and you can't argue with the value, right?
Got that
Get out
possible.
there, a little date night. You're in and out for like a crisp $20.
Hey, I'm here for that. On the program tonight, not just Chili's conversations, but we do have
No.
the OG segment coming back. Headline Hyjinx. That's our 2025 fantasy football hot takes in a punny headline. And one of our newer segments as well, a little off the top. That's our cut one game that combines fantasy football with pop culture. And before we get going, shout out to the IBT family for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. As always, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this type of content. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and be sure to head over to the inbetweenmedia.com, the website, for some fantastic written content. And while you're there, consider getting yourself a ticket to Draft Night Out. That's our live fantasy football draft at the Fantasy Football Expo in Canton, Ohio, this August. If you want to come draft with us and 200 of our closest fantasy football friends, this is the event for you. We'll have a shot wheel going, giveaways going off, maybe some songs that we're going to be singing along to as well, and everything in between. Link is in the episode description. Putting together the menu for right now, turns out for the first time ever, Busch Light will be in the building at Draft Night Out, boys. So we'll be good there. Pounders will be stocked. I'm still working on getting draft in there, Steve, though. So hold your britches, but we will be there. We will have hopefully some draft in there for you. Don't worry, buddy.
My britches are unfortunately not going to be in Canton with you guys. They will be firmly planted in a pair of dress pants and a suit at a wedding here in New England, unfortunately. So
It's a bad day. It's a bad day.
It's
I know.
unacceptable. I think we need to launch like a counter ops to just go and kidnap Steve from this wedding and bring
I
him
need
to
to
Canton.
GoFundMe to move that wedding to the next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we could just like play the classic, hey, I got a tummy ache, I'm not going to be making it. And then like,
There was a real thought in my mind to just be like, I'm not going, and not even giving like a legitimate reason other than I'm just not. Like,
is it your cousin's wedding?
it is my cousin's
What's
wedding.
his name?
His name is Dave.
Dave.
And we all grew up
Classic
together. It's like he's like an
Do you
older
like
brother.
his wife? Do you like the what?
I
Do you like the
actually
bride?
love his. I love his fiance.
Okay.
She's
Okay.
really funny. I really like her, which is unfortunate.
Send him a
Because
nice gift. You're all good, buddy. All
you know
good.
what? Honestly, yeah.
Let's get you up.
I'm coming off of a year where I had 3 different weddings on the calendar with like immediate family members, my brother, my wife's sister, right? I can tell you firsthand, as we're getting down to crunch time, they're making some hard decisions for the last guy in for the Mr. Irrelevant on their invite list. Maybe you just offer to do them a little favor,
I was
right?
a-
Like
I
if
was a
they're
second.
if
I
they're
was like,
sweating these
at latest-
choices, like give it to great Aunt Edna. She would love to be there. This might be her last wedding of yours that she'll ever
True.
make it to. I'll
True.
go to Canton. It'll be cool.
I was a second round pick at latest with this
Yeah.
one, so I'm in.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, let's go ahead and move forward. We have an absolutely loaded program for you. Let's get started here with a little headline hijinks. All right, it's headline hijinks. This is our 2025 fantasy football hot takes with a punny headline. And guys, I'm going to start us out because I have 3. You each have 2. I'm an overachiever once again on this program. But what else is new? Starting out here with
Like he didn't list saying 1 to 2, Eric. Like he threw us right under the bus.
I
on
said
that.
no. I actually technically said no minimum, no maximum. I remember I definitely said that in the sheet. Either way, it's tight to wait, and I know this kind of sounds like an early 2000s health educator saying this, but no tight end drafted inside the top 8 will be viewed as a good pick come end of season. And I'm usually a tight end guy. You guys know this, but
Yeah.
this year for me, I am cool with letting the top 8 go by at these wild ADPs. I mean, they're absolutely wild, guys. Here are some Fantasy Pros ECR for you. Brock Bowers, tight end 14 overall. Great rookie season. Totally different regime, though. Way more competition for targets now. Jack Besh is there. We also have Ashton Jeanty in the backfield. Also, they bring in a talented wide receiver, Dante Thornton, out of Tennessee, a deep threat. Trey McBride, 19 overall. Guy has 6 touchdowns in 3 seasons. He's going 19 overall right now. George Kittle, 4th round. George Kittle was lit last season, but he's still going to be 32 in October. Offensive has a ton of volatility here as well. TJ Hawkinson, Sam Laporta in the 5th round. Jonnu Smith going 80th overall. Like, if I'm taking a tight end in the top 100, it's going to be Kelsey or Andrews. And because they're tight end 9 and tight end 10. But if not, like, I'm just going to ride with one of these rookies. Give me Tyler Warren, give me Colston Loveland, and I'll double up with someone like Zach Ertz or Kyle Pitts, who I can play like beginning of the season while I wait for one of these rookies to develop a little bit. So most early and mid-round tight ends, they were big disappointments last year. They were bad picks besides like Trey McBride. So maybe this shouldn't be as hard of a take as it sounds, but I think it's going to happen 2 straight years in a row, Eric.
Yeah, I mean, you're preaching to the choir here, right? This has been my drumbeat for pretty much my entire
I know,
tenure
I was
here
never
with-
this
with
guy, yeah.
IDT. And really this is the correct range, right? You know, even if we're talking about the top 3 or 4 guys going off the board, there's a significant difference between a onesie position going in
Sure.
like the 2nd round and the 5th or the 6th round. And specifically this year, it seems like we're seeing a lot of guys pulled way up, but also the sort of middle class of the tight end ranks is getting pulled up as well. So the value at waiting is exponentially higher. And I think we're going to see kind of that median scoring at the position actually take a bit of a step forward. So you're going to see a bit more production out of that position, but I don't think it's going to be all that differentiated and just a little bit closer to what we're getting out of the high end guys. So all of these are check marks in the weight column for me.
Steve, are you taking any shots on any top 8 tight ends? And if so, who?
I'm not, because honestly, and this is going to be maybe my death knell for the fantasy community, but I'm going for Kyle Pitts again this year. He's so cheap.
I mean, dude,
he's
tight
so
end,
cheap.
It's like tight end 20 now. Like, you brought it up and it was like tight end 13 a couple months ago, and like now at tight end 20, I'll take the shot on him and Warren. I'm cool with it.
Right. I mean, and like, I really am. Like, at this point, Bowers is just too expensive for my taste. And Eric is absolutely right. It's a one-off position that doesn't carry the same value as some of these other positions. A flex running back scores just as much as some of these tight ends, most of these tight ends. So why not like ride with that instead? So I'm just kind of out at cost.
Okay. Eric, I'm throwing over to you for your first hot take of the night. What do you have, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna dive into the post-hype sleeper world. Maserati Marv is revving hot. The post-hype value is real. Another one of my steadfast adages on these airways is that happiness is a function of expectation. Everyone who drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. last year hates the guy because they used end of the 1st or early 2nd round draft capital to go out and acquire him. And he did not live up to that top 5 or 6 expectation. But if you remove that from the picture, actually had a pretty solid year, right? Almost 900 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns. There were a lot of growing pains in terms of getting on the same page with Kyler Murray, but also his usage was just really weird. They almost played him like, to borrow a term from our friends at Reception Perception, like a sacrificial X. He was on the perimeter like 80% of the time facing the opposing best cornerback, running a very limited route tree. Like, I have to imagine that the coaching staff and the front office is going to look at their 4th overall draft capital that they used to acquire him last year, his incredible pedigree, and just the fact that he is a tactician when it comes to the abilities of the route runner, and find more creative ways to get him involved. So I think he will outproduce his rookie season. But if nothing else, he's going off the board as like wide receiver 20-ish, which I think is a very reasonable expectation. So I think this is the year to get in onto Maserati Marv.
Yeah, early in the season last year, people were saying like Drew Petzing should be up for a head coaching job. And I was like, is anyone watching what he's doing with Marvin Harrison Jr. and just totally misuse him? So hopefully he can learn from his lessons here. Or I think this guy's going to be out of a job, because certainly agreed with you, man. They were using him much more down the field than I think he needs to be. And Marv's a guy, just get the ball in this guy's hands and he can create some magic. We saw it multiple times, as you mentioned, 8 touchdowns last year. So I'm cool with it. In our redraft mock, I was eyeing him up at the 3-4 turn, and I picked someone else at the 3-11, hoping he would come back to me at the 4-2, and he got sniped by our guy Bo over there being a sharp. So that's right. Like that's a good range for Marv. Does that feel about right for you, Steve? Separate. I know you don't like him as a prospect, but you have to like the situation. It's him and Trey McBride. The Arizona Cardinals did not add anything to this wide receiver room. It's them. It's Michael Wilson. It's going to probably be Greg Dortch out there running again.
I think it's hard, right? Because I you know me, I don't like to have take lock. I frequently do. I try not to, though, right? Here's my issue, is that I think this is going to be a much more run-heavy offense than people expect it to be in Arizona this year. I think
if you're trying to backdoor this into a Trey Benson take, my guy.
I'm backdooring this into a Trey Benson take. I'm backdooring this into a Trey Benson take. Listen, this is the way it's going. And I know people don't agree with me about Marvin Harrison Jr., but there's a reason that he was that sacrificial lamb at the X position. There's a reason why Trey McBride is the number 1 receiver on this team. There's a reason why these things happen. If he could do all of the things that people say he could do, then he'd be doing them. I think we have a real problem where Marvin Harrison Jr. may just be kind of that, like a little bit more Jameson Williams than he is Amon-Ra St. Brown. And that's okay. That's okay. It may not be okay when you're 4th overall pick, but it's okay to just be a big play guy. I mean, Rashid Shaheed gets paid. Jameson Williams gets paid. Darius Slayton gets paid. Big play guys get paid. But am I drafting him in the 3rd round of drafts? No, probably not.
Dude, I just feel like when he was Maserati Marv, when Gus Johnson was on the call out there in the shoe, man, like I'm telling you, this guy is a good.
I am not doubting what he did at Ohio State. I know he was really good, but
if you give me 10 guys to win on a curl in the NFL, he's in my top 10. This guy runs a curl nastier than anybody, bro.
Or dig.
He is
based on what? He didn't do it.
Well, then using that.
If you go back and watch Cardinals tape from last year, there are curls and digs every single game.
If you go back and watch Cardinals
way.
tape, a lot of times, a lot of his plays are either busted plays.
I think
Kyler making a lot of magic happen and then getting him the ball, or the defense just forgot to cover him. It's very rarely him making the move.
Maybe I'm blind optimistic, but I will say, in the list of things that would prevent a Marv 2nd-year breakout, Marv is 3rd on the list. Number 1 is Drew Petzig. Number 2 is Kyler Murray. And Marv's talent is not what I'm concerned about. But with that being said, Steve, let's shift over to your hot take here. Are you thinking that another wide receiver 2nd year could also potentially be not only a breakout, but maybe the best wide receiver of them all?
Yeah, and won't you be my Nabers? Malik Nabers will be the wide receiver 1 overall this year for fantasy football. I am all in on Malik Nabers. I was just in a Superflex Dynasty startup. I had the 1-7, and I took Malik Nabers at the 1-7.
What are the receivers were off the board? Chase?
Jefferson and Chase.
Okay.
Jefferson and Chase. That was it. And I don't regret it one bit. I punted on the quarterback position essentially in that draft, but Malik Nabers is my dynasty wide receiver 3 right now, and making a real bid for 2 if he can come through this year. And right now I have Chase at 1, Jefferson at 2, and then Nabers sitting solidly at 3 ahead of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Listen, whether it's Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, or Jackson Dart this year, Malik Nabers has quarterbacks who will target him ad nauseum, right? Like, we know these are 3 guys who will feed him. And unlike what I feel about Marv, there is not a single place on the field where I feel like Malik Nabers isn't like elite. There's nothing he does that isn't elite. His route running, elite. After the catch, elite. Long, like deep ball, medium, intermediate passes, short passes, doesn't matter. He can take a screen pass 80 yards, or he can take a fly route 80 yards. Malik Nabers is I think Malik Nabers is what all of us wanted Marvin Harrison Jr. to be.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be shocked if he goes for 1,600 yards and 12, 13, 14 touchdowns this year and cements himself as the wide receiver 1 going forward.
That was the crazy thing, is his touchdown rate was so low last year. Like, compared to, like, I mean, 7 touchdowns for a rookie is still great, right? But when you have a guy like him who had 170 targets, over 109 receptions, 1,200 yards, and he
And
has
remember
7
who he was
touchdowns.
doing this with? I want to like point
Oh,
that
yeah.
out. He was
Yeah.
doing this with like Daniel Jones, yes, which is the peak of what he had.
Right.
Like the best case scenario for Malik Nabers last year was Daniel Jones.
And then it was Tommy DeVito, and then it was Drew Lock, which Drew
Right.
Lock actually had some nice games. But yeah, like when you have Jahan Dotson as a rookie who also had 7 touchdowns, like, it shows that positive regression could swing back his way. I don't think this is like a mild take, honestly. I think you're drafting Malik Nabers in the first round with the upside of being wide receiver 1 overall. Like, Jamar Chase is going to be hard to beat. If the Cowboys stay healthy, I think CeeDee Lamb's going to be hard to beat too. Justin Jefferson always going to be in that conversation as well. But I'm with you. I'm also high on Malik Nabers this year. He currently, like, he's my wide receiver 4 in redraft, and I'm not shy about it at all. Like, I would take Malik Nabers as high as 4 overall, or as potentially as late as 7 overall. I think he's right in that case. So I'm there. Eric, are you with us on Malik Nabers and loving what we're seeing out of this Baton Rouge prospect?
Yeah, I'm absolutely there, right? And if for no other reason, we can make a practical case that we've seen it, right? Basically through week 5 until he got hurt, he was the wide receiver 1 in points per game. There were stretches down the back half of the year where he was rattling off 22, 25 points per game pretty consistently. So he certainly has this type of upside in his locker, and he was doing it with essentially guys off the street. Unfortunately, he has a quarterback that is equivalent to a guy off the street in Russell Wilson, who's probably going to start the season under center.
Yeah.
But hopefully the cream will rise to the top, whether it's Jameis Winston just chucking up YOLO balls to him, or Jackson Dart taking his rightful place as the quarterback of the future for the Giants. There are some gunslingers that are going to be directing the passes his way. So the upside is still pretty untapped, even though he showed flashes of it last year.
Would an improvement of the Giants defense maybe like dissuade us at all from our love? Like, just trying to play devil's advocate a little bit here. Like, because I think we all think this Giants defense is going to be better with Abdul Carter joining Brian Burns, Sexy Dexy, and Kayvon Thibodeau up front, right? Like, do we think maybe it could be a little more ground and pound with a little Cam Scadaboo that maybe it hurts Nabers, or do we think like he's still a shoo-in for 8 to 10 targets per game?
No, I think he's actually a shoo-in for double-digit targets per game, because let's remember that Brian Daboll was brought on as an offensive mind.
True.
And he has to show that he's going to develop Jackson Dart if he has any prayer of lasting past this season. So it's probably going to be a much more air raid offense than we're expecting it to be even.
Fair. I'll go ahead with my next headline here. Is your friendly neighborhood Jeanty saves the day. Ashton Jeanty will be the RB1 overall. And I talked about this on last week's episode a little bit, so I'll get into that a little bit later. But honestly, this is more just fading the running backs at the front of this 2025 NFL fantasy football draft cycle here. Saquon Barkley had nearly 500 touches last year when you include the postseason. I'm okay on that, man. Like, I think I'm okay with missing that. Like, Saquon, to me, I think he can be still the RB1 if he stays healthy. He's arguably in the best spot for a running back, especially if the tush push gets banned. He could be looking at 15 to 20 touchdowns. But at the same time, I just generally try to fade those running backs coming off high touch seasons. Bijan Robinson was awesome last season, but I felt like we were kind of at his ceiling, and he still finished as the RB3. Yet he's ranked in Fantasy Pros ECR currently. I'm a company man over there. They're RB1. And that's on a Falcons offense that has traditionally burned us for fantasy football purposes. They still have Tyler Algier in the final year of his rookie contract. They're going to kind of want to run the brakes off him a little bit, get the rest of what his value is. And I honestly think, like, if we're talking talent-wise, Jahmyr Gibbs might be the best running back in the league, but Ben Johnson's gone. He dipped town. Dave Montgomery's still there, going to be taking early down goal line work away. And somehow Devon Achane is now ranked above our guy Ashton Jeanty, according to the experts as well. And Achane, electric when Tua was healthy last season. I totally get that. Averaged over 20 points per game in PPR formats. But at the same time, this whole Dolphins team could collapse. So I'm just like not buying Achane as a first round pick. And like Jeanty averaged over 28 touches last year at Boise State. Raiders team, he's joining this as the 6th overall pick. Raheem Mostert's there, but beside that, it's like Sincere McCormick, Samir White, Dylan Law. This guy's not coming off the field, man. Pete Carroll wants to run the ball, win with defense. Geno Smith's going to dump it off as well as a lot as well. And with Chip Kelly out there at the fast pace that he runs his offenses, Tom Brady, who likes to run the ball, throw the ball to the back, I think we're going to see that influence a little bit too. Sign me up for 350 plus touches of Ashton Jeanty right off the rip. And I think there's a chance that he's the 101 next year in fantasy football drafts. Steve, are you buying it?
Yeah, I'm buying this.
Wow. So this seemed that hot. You don't think it's that hot either?
I do and I don't, right? Like
it's like a medium. It's like a medium.
I think
sauce?
I think it's a medium, maybe a little
Okay.
outside of my spice range. Maybe I'd be like, oh, this one's got a little sweetness to it. But like, what does make me nervous about this is Chip Kelly. We've seen his offense at the NFL level, and running doesn't work very well in a Chip Kelly offense. We saw him inherit DeMarco Murray and not look good. LaShawn McCoy didn't look good under Chip Kelly. Like multiple running backs who are very talented did not look good under the Chip Kelly regime. So I get nervous about that. However, Ashton Jeanty, young, fresh. I know he took a lot of carries in college, but he's still fresh reasonably, right? Generational talent. I do think he could potentially be the best running back in the NFL outside of Saquon Barkley day one. So I don't think this is the worst take in the world. I think it's actually really a more educated take than most people give out.
Eric, if I'm drafting a running back in the first round, it's Ashton Jeanty or I'm going wide receiver. That's really how I feel at this point. Do you feel differently?
No, that's generally how I approach it. You'll be hard pressed to find me taking almost any running back in the first round, but of the guys that are being drafted up around that area, he's the latest, so he's the value that I want. I don't think this is a hot take at all, right? Because of the workload that he projects to get, but also like Seth, you're talking about the guy that's like RB4 off the board,
right? Yeah, maybe this wasn't that hot.
Right?
I had another take too. I guess I'll just throw out too that along these lines, I think 25% of RB2s or better this season are going to be rookies. That was kind of my other, but then that's not that hot either because you got Omarion Hampton, you have both Ohio State guys, RJ Harvey, and then you can kind of like factor in like, could it be Cam Scatterbo? Could it be Caleb Johnson? So that was my original take, and then I thought this one was
Cam
hotter.
Scatterbo into there. That should have been your hot take because you keep sneaking him in with all these names that I'm like, why does he keep popping up? You're like, oh yeah, look at Saquon Barkley and Jahmyr Gibbs and Cam Scatterbo. Like it just keeps popping up.
Which one's hotter, Eric? 25% of RB2s are better, rookies or Ashton Jeanty? And where's this on the hot level? Like, is this like a little like sweet barbecue, or is this a little like spicy barbecue, or is this just like hot? You gotta sign a waiver, baby.
Yeah, I think this is firmly in the mesquite territory of barbecue.
Wow.
I mean, look, we're not used to seeing rookie running backs come in and perform at this level, so that's where it gets a little bit spicier. But functionally speaking, from a talent standpoint, from an opportunity standpoint, everything is there for this kid to have RB1 well represented on his range of outcomes. The other option, like anytime you start qualifying with a bunch of different math considerations, it gets a little fuzzy, right? Like 25% of RB2s are going to have ambidextrous cousin who one time, right? Like I think the wider that you make your hot take inherently, the less hot it is.
Cool.
I think what you should really do is you should plant a flag. Forget fantasy finishes. Just plant your flag on like scrimmage yards this year for Ashton Jeanty. Be cracking 2,000?
No, stop.
Scrimmage yards? I think he
Scrimmage
could.
yards.
I
Behind that offensive line, come on now. Don't forget that team
I
is
think
terrible.
I think you're looking like 1,300 rushing yards and maybe 4. Yeah, 2,000 might be. I bet 1,900. I would
That's
if
still
you.
too hot for me.
He's not finishing RB1 if he doesn't.
Yeah, true. True. I don't know. He could get a lot of touchdowns though. I mean, how many? What Madison had? How many touchdowns last year, Steve? Early in the season.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think 2,000 yards is happening. That's for
Okay.
sure.
All right. Well, I'm sending it over to Eric with your second hot take of the night. What do you got down there cooking in the great state of Texas?
Yeah, you're my boy Blue.
My boy
Jaydon is
Blue!
ready to party. Jaydon Blue, an explosive runner out of the Texas Longhorns, proceeded to went and set the 40-yard dash time on fire at the NFL Combine and at various points throughout the pre-draft process, and goes to a pseudo hometown team in the Dallas Cowboys that have almost nobody standing in his way to take the workload out from under him. And now we're finding reporting as recently as today about a legitimate likelihood that he could lead the Dallas Cowboys in touches out of that backfield. So you talk about a guy that's as explosive as he is, like legitimate 4.3 speed, but pushing 200 pounds. Like he's kind of everything that like people are hyping Cam Scatterbo up to be, but actually has the tape to prove it. So to be able to go out there and get him for, in the double-digit rounds, if not well into the double-digit rounds, is exactly the type of value I'm looking for. Like as players, they're quite different, but I think he can net you like Tyrone Tracy type of returns in 2025.
Where do you think he finishes? Like, I need to measure the hotness of this. I need a quantifiable number.
Over 2,000 scrimmage yards. No, I'm just kidding. I think he's probably like the RB 15. Sounds about right.
RB 50. Wow, that is hot. That's hot.
That's spicy.
Oh,
that's pretty spicy.
Oh, that's hot.
It depends on how quickly he takes the job, right? But if the reporting is already out there in May that he potentially has the inside track for the job, and all he has to do is keep the depleted skeleton of Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams out of the way. Like if he opens week 1 as the starter, like I think he might actually have running back 1 upside. But I won't say that on these airways because I'm not trying to.
Wow. I agree with that.
Strays.
I agree with that.
It's kind of reminds me like the Heat coming off this take. Lately, I've been like I never tanned before in my life. I don't know if you guys have tanned before, like in like a tanning bed.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I've started doing that just because like
don't do that.
I get sunburnt really really bad.
Yeah, but don't go to a tanning bed. Go outside.
Dude, I need to get exposed.
Bro, you're gonna get exposed to that skin cancer. You gotta stop going to a tanning bed.
I'm just trying to not get like not be red in my brother's wedding photos.
That's much worse off than skin cancer.
But I was just gonna say I was in there the other day and it was like it was hot. It was hot. I was feeling a little bit. But let's go ahead and move forward here. Steve, your final hot take of the night is?
Yeah, I'm going to Gotham, and it's easy breezy. And that is that Breece Hall will also finish as the number 1 player at his position. Breece Hall is everything you want in a running back. I will say this right now. Breece Hall, the disrespect attached to this man's name right now is ridiculous. This is a 23-year-old phenom at the position, and we forget that because the Jets are the Jets, and they've done Jets things for the last few years and have not done right by their stud running back. However, they brought in Justin Fields. They got a little bit of offensive help. They brought in a better coach that has a better idea of how to use him. I expect Breece Hall to look very much like Jahmyr Gibbs did last season on the Detroit Lions. And so I am all in on Breece Hall, especially at cost where you're getting him in the 2nd, maybe 3rd round of your fantasy drafts right now, and I love it. I am all in. He's going to catch plenty of passes. He's going to get plenty of open running lanes because Justin Fields is going to have to pin that defensive end on the other side. It's going to open things up. It's going to look really, really nice. That's what people underestimate about these running quarterbacks is how much they open things up off of that read option for their running backs. Breece Hall could be your RB1 for the season.
Oh man, I'm so mixed on this because opening up this offseason, we had our early ADP target show, and Breece Hall was mine because I thought going in the third round was an absolute smash for this guy. You guys know me, like we got a Frisky Jets line of t-shirts out on the site. Like I love the Jets, but like honestly, I almost am at a point where I wish they would have just traded him because two things. One, Aaron Glenn said that he wants to use a committee. I could see Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis maybe getting more run than we want in this offense. In addition to that, I don't think Breece Hall is going to get a lot of targets compared to what he's got in the past. And like when Breece Hall was a fantasy football league winner in 2023, it's because this guy was just absolutely mowing people down through the air. Like we remember it. There were games where he had 10 plus targets from Zach Wilson and company, couldn't move the ball, but they could find Breece Hall on passing routes. And I just worry that maybe that's going to evaporate as all. Like I still think it's good value where you're getting him, but I have a lot of question marks. And Eric, you know me, like I got the Breece Hall jersey in the closet right now. Like I'm a bigger fan of this guy than anyone, and I got concerns that this is a hot take. This is too hot for me. Even I'm out of the kitchen on this one. I'm done.
I don't know why you're concerned about his
Aaron
target
Glenn said he
volume.
well, Justin Fields never target. Dude, he's a running quarterback. Like, you know what I mean?
And generally associated with those running quarterbacks, you find pretty open running lanes for their running back counterparts, right? Like,
but
the
they don't.
correlation.
They usually don't target the running backs as much passing it though because they run with their legs.
I mean, typically, right? You see a decrease in checkdowns, but you also have to look at like the marketplace of target earners on the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, Breece Hall had 76 targets, number 3 among running backs in 2024. And all they've really done is replace Devonta Adams with Mason Taylor, right? Like he is easily the third, if not the second best pass catcher on this team right now. So yeah, the volume might go down a little bit because the number of checkdowns could theoretically decrease. I think he does more than makes up for that in his upside as a ball carrier. And I mean, maybe he comes down from 76, but like 50 targets, still well in range.
Okay. I'll go ahead and round us out. My final hot take of the night. Diddy Kong Racing returns. DK Metcalf breaks 1,200 yards. This is conditional with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. I will add that. I'll also add DK Racing. Great game. You guys ever played Diddy Kong Racing? I mean,
of course.
Mario Kart's got its place and its time, but little DK Racing ain't bad. Little
Diddy
DK
Kong Racing was amazing when you busted out the planes. Amazing.
Oh, and you had like the hovercrafts too.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, good. Overall, slept on game. On game.
Don't quote the old magic to me. I was there when it was written.
Oh, I appreciate that. It's really tough though to project DK Metcalf's targets and touchdowns. Like given that George Pickens was the main guy last year, still only saw 103 targets and 3 touchdowns, was hurt for 3 games. So that is something to note. However, we know something about Aaron Rodgers is that he will target his main receiver like crazy, even in his older age. Like he's not what he used to be, but he can still absolutely dish the rock to his main guy. Before Devontae Adams got hurt last season, or before Devontae Adams came to the Jets last season, AR coming right off the Achilles, Garrett Wilson was on pace for 189 targets and 1,100 yards. Adams, after coming to the Jets last season, on pace for 176 targets and 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns. Rodgers is great at targeting his stars with high-value targets with Robert Woods, Calvin Austin, Rowan Wilson. Those are the other guys behind DK Metcalf on the step chart. I'm targeting him aggressively at wide receiver 26, 52 overall. Eric, I know you just took him in our redraft mock. I was hoping maybe you would come back to me in the 5th round. He did not. You took him. So I think it's 1,200 yards. How hot is this take for you? Because I think a lot of people would say that is hot because DK Metcalf only 1 season in his career with over 1,200. I'm thinking he does the same thing he did back in 2020 here if AR is the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a pile of vacated targets for Pittsburgh now. Actually, I believe they're the leaders in both vacated targets and vacated carries this offseason as they really overhaul this offense. and George Pickens heads out the door to make way for like Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb to join Aaron Rodgers in this Pittsburgh offense and to make it a very murky situation. Logically, I think we should see DK Metcalf surpass 1,200 yards, but I think that we've learned from Aaron Rodgers that shenanigans and hijinks will ensue wherever he is, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see something entirely wacky in terms of the other receivers they acquire or just their general target distribution.
So this is a little hot. This is a little hot here. Is this my hottest take? Is this my hottest take?
If we were talking about a world where it was literally anybody but Aaron Rodgers under center, I don't think this is that hot. But I mean, the chaos agent in chief coming to Pittsburgh makes this a legitimate question mark.
Bro, if I can get DK Metcalf in the 5th round, I'm doing it. I'm pulling the trigger more often. I mean, that's my wide receiver 3, my wide receiver 4. Yeah. No, I know you did. I almost took him at the turn there early in the 4th. That's how much I like him. So I'm there. Come on. Kyle, we got enough Permain sandwiches over here for DK, right? We got enough, not enough. We got enough Pittsburgh style sandwiches for him. What do you say?
I don't know, man. Look at his physique. Not if he's bulking. We don't have enough.
True. Put the coleslaw on there, even though Steve says a little oily,
a little vinegary, little too much vinegar for me.
I understand. All right, guys, let's go ahead and round out the show here a little off the top. That's our cut one game coming up.
Just a little off the top. Ain't talking about a fade or a crop. Steady hand, know when to stop. Just a little off the top. Whoa, easy now.
All right, we are cutting one rookie in Dynasty drafts. Travis Hunter, ECR of 4 overall when it comes to the rookies in Superflex formats. Luther Burden, ECR, wide receiver. I don't even know what the wide receiver is. ECR 15 overall. The Emeka Buka, wide receiver, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, ECR 9. And Cam Scattaboo, ECR of 18 for the Giants. Eric, cut one of these wide receiver or running backs in Dynasty formats, please.
Yeah, I'm cutting your guy. Cameron, don't call me Cam Scattaboo. Look, there's just such a checkered history with mid to late round draft capital running backs, right?
He was almost a day 2 pick, bro. He's like 3 picks away.
Yeah, man, and I was almost a superstar one day, right? Like we all have sob stories in our life. Almost doesn't count in this context. And the reason why we were worried about this is playing out on this very team. Tyrone Tracy had a admirable rookie campaign and one that if he was just a 2nd round pick, would probably have him holding on to this job pretty well. But because he's later round draft capital, the front office goes out and looks for a supplemental piece, right? Like so many things have to go right to get the Bucky Irving outcome that I think it's just a fool's errand to bank on that happening because this guy runs hard and he's got that dog in him, right? Like there are legitimate question marks about his opportunity, about how his skill set and seeking out contact will translate to the NFL level. Like I don't want to have to pay
mid-second round
his upside outcome in rookie drafts, right? Like everything has to break right for that to pay off. And usually it doesn't with these type of guys.
Tyler Shuck or Cam Scattaboo? Who are you guys taking? Dynasty rookie draft on the clock. One word.
Superflex or not?
Superflex. Yeah.
Probably Shuck.
Okay. Steve, what about you? Are you cutting Scattaboo as well? This is the latest ECR. There are some higher profile rookies, Travis Hunter, Luther Burd, and Emeka, who are going to cost more. You still cutting the former Arizona State Sun Devil, though?
Yeah, I am, because he's not worth a mid-second round pick. Listen, it's nothing against the guy personally. I don't know him. But I do know, like, everyone is like, he's a dog. He runs so hard, as if the rest of the league doesn't. And then but he was almost a day 2 pick. I used to be an adventurer just like you, and then I took an arrow to the knee. I mean, what does that mean? What are we playing here? It's not a game of almost. It's either you were or you weren't. He got no draft capital. It doesn't matter. He's slow. He's undersized, and he can't run away from anybody. So I'm out.
Yeah, I'm fine with taking Scattaboo where he is. Emeka Buka, you have to be patient with him. I think if you're taking him number 9 overall, Luther Burden, when it comes to him at 15 overall, I think that's one of the worst dynasty picks you can make just because it's such a clogged up offense. Luther Burden is a guy, I've said it from the beginning of this process this season, guys, that he is someone who proved at Missouri in the SEC that when he's playing against elite competition at cornerback, he cannot separate. He needs manufactured touches. He's a gadget player. And unless he's going to be in a very heavily manufactured role for Ben Johnson, I'm out there. But I know we've been down this road. We've talked about it multiple times. Is Travis Hunter not the worst pick at player number 4 overall, Eric? Like, is it just because things can break right for him? Is that why like he doesn't make your cut here? Because I got to be cutting Travis Hunter at ECR 4. I would take him at 7 or 8, but I just can't do it here at 4.
Yeah, I think he's got enough floor to his range of outcomes to where you feel comfortable enough at 7 that, I mean, you're kind of splitting hairs with taking him at 4. I wouldn't feel good clicking the button there because he does have that variability in his profile in terms of how much he's going to play in at either position or how trying to play both is going to impact his long-term health. That's
my issue, right? Like, I just don't want a guy who's playing on defense and could get hurt and it's not scoring fantasy points for me. I know that sounds selfish because he's an awesome player, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, like I think it should be. I think the take should be more like I'm not drafting him in the first round, not I'm moving him down, 3 or 4 picks, which I do feel okay drafting him around that like midpoint a little bit later. So that was the tiebreaker, right? Like, I'm not going to sniff Cameron Scadaboo at his current ADP. Whereas I think it's within arm's reach to where Travis Hunter is going.
Okay. Let's go ahead. We got another question here. Cut One Schools Out movie. Steve, you're an entertainment betting expert. Tell us about these films that really set the tone for a great summer in our youth, if you would.
Okay, so these range, and these are an incredibly wide array of movies that I'm about to lay out for you. So get your pen and paper ready, everybody. We're starting out with the classic American Pie. If you know, you know. Stifler's mom set a lot of boys on very interesting puberty journeys. Jennifer Coolidge, love you. Love that she went from a straight boy icon to a gay icon and did it seamlessly. Great job from Jennifer Coolidge. It is an American coming-of-age teen sex comedy. Then there's Can't Hardly Wait, a story that takes place at a high school grad party. It's your typical, it gets out of hand. Everyone kind of has their drama, blah, 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 blah. Grown Ups 2. It's an Adam Sandler flick, and all his friends show up, and they go away with their kids, and it's at a water park, and they get into a whole bunch of hijinks at 45.
Grown Ups 1. That's Grown Ups 1. You just told the plot of Grown Ups 1.
Or Grown Ups 2, I'm sorry, is at the lake, right? So it's just a bunch
of... No, that's all Grown Ups 1. Grown Ups 2 is when they come back. They come back to their hometowns last day of school, but same
regardless,
hijinks, but
it's a
worse
bunch
production.
Of mid-40-year-olds men.
Does Calamity ensue? Cool.
Calamity ensues.
Shaq's in that too.
A Goofy movie. I will never disparage this movie for fear of Seth firing me. Number 1. Number 2, if you haven't seen a Goofy movie, truly one of the more like tug at your heartstrings Disney movies. It's really underrated. Recess, School's Out. If you've seen Recess, the TV show, it's all the kids from Recess, except this time they're not bound by the school rules and they are free to go wild in summer. And then finally, we get Dazed and Confused. The film follows a variety of teenagers on the last day of school in Austin, Texas. It also gave us Matthew McConaughey's classic line of these high school kids. No matter, I keep getting older and they stay the same age. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. All right.
Wow. This is a tough cut one.
I can say pretty confidently I'm cutting Dazed and Confused.
Wow.
I think it's kind of a low-key creepy kind of movie.
I loved it as a kid, Eric. It honestly defined my teen years. I wanted to live that life, and I definitely a little bit did live that life, but it was 2015, 2014, 2013, not the 70s. But I can't cut Days Confused, has a special place in my heart. What are you cutting here? Are you with Steve here? You cutting Watterson the boys?
No, definitely not cutting Dazed and Confused. Steve's point is fair, right? There is no shortage of problematic components to that movie, but that's kind of the case of almost any movie from the 80s and 90s and from the before
True.
times. So
The
trying
before
to
times.
trying to set that aside. Dazed and Confused is iconic, and there are several iconic movies on this list. A Goofy Movie, American Pie. Honestly, for me, it's a toss-up between Recess, School's Out. That just I wasn't part of that universe overall. And Can't
sorry.
Hardly Wait, right? Like I think I'm cutting Can't Hardly Wait here. Yes,
Oh,
it's
no.
got its
Whoa,
moment.
Really?
whoa.
Yeah, it's got its moments, but
Whoa.
like the whole arc is kind of played out. Like you've seen that movie a dozen
Well,
times
it
before
wasn't when
the
it
first
came
time you
out.
watched it. Sure it was.
Uh,
This is like the classic
No.
like high school coming of age tale that like
It had Seth Green in it. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
sure,
He was good. Yeah, he
Seth
was
Green
good.
is delightful, right? But they
This is
also
like
had
peak,
like
this is like the peak
a
of his
whimsical
powers.
underdog character when they did this 100 times before this
That's
movie
every
came out as
movie.
well.
That's every movie. You'd
That's
cut
not
Rocky,
American
which I'm
Pie.
right
That's not a
behind.
Goofy Movie. That's not
A
Dazed and
Goofy movie is
Confused.
absolutely a lovable underdog story.
I love the end of Can't Hardly Wait too when he runs her down in the train station. Like it's great, man. It's Can't Hardly Wait's an underrated movie. Actually, I think that's the most disrespectful. I think the easy cut here, and you guys all missed it. It's Grown Ups 2.
Yeah, that's
like
pretty easy.
Grown Ups 1, masterclass. I love Grown Ups 1. Grown Ups 2, like you can like come on, that's a bad movie.
That filmed, I'm not even kidding, about 12 minutes down the road from me.
Yeah,
Oh.
like you're not touching American Pie. You're not touching Can't Hardly
No,
Wait.
I
A
can't-
Goofy Movie, a banger, and like
Yeah, you can't-
Recess School's Out a little sad at times because like that was like the one movie that's like one is the loneliest number. Like that was
I mean, that song's in it, but
yeah,
yes.
like you know, so it's a little sad at times, but yeah, no,
They're all sad at times. Listen, I think we can all agree that American Pie is the king of this list. Overall, I think American Pie sits alone at the top.
I would say it and Dazed and Confused are in a tier of their own. I would
Dazed and Confused is just if you watch it now, it's too it just is too problematic.
Okay.
I mean, literally Matthew McConaughey's character is a predator. Like I don't know how.
All right. Kyle, what do you
Right.
think? What are you cutting here, and what's the best Schools Out movie?
Yeah, I mean, like you guys said, the easy cut is obviously Grown Ups 2, whichever one we decided it is. And, I mean, the rest are classics. I'm not the biggest fan of American Pie, but, like, other than that, those are all classics.
Okay. You're not the
Especially
biggest fan of
Mom, man.
American Pie? Yeah, come on.
Jennifer, it like really
just
gave
how
us
I
Jennifer
think.
Coolidge.
What don't you like about it, Kyle?
Look, man, I have a lot of problems with that movie that we're gonna go over time. So
Okay. All
I
right.
don't wanna get into American
What if
Pie.
what if that scene was with a mozzarella stick instead of a pie?
All right, 10 then.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight on the In Between Fans Football Podcast. If you've rode with us this long, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the whole channel. We've got NFL fans football and betting information and advice for you. College football betting, NASCAR betting, PGA betting, and of course, some entertainment betting as well. All to help you cash more and enjoy the ride along the way. Be sure to check out inbetweenmedia.com for some written content and upcoming live events for Eric Romoff and Steve Lawson. And of course, Kyle Jim Scott. I'm Seth Woolcock. Thanks for watching. Keep it in between. Till next time, y'all. Thank you.